on wedding filmmakers.
Yeah.
We made them mad.
Yeah. They came after us.
Well, you can,
Something like that.
the National Booking Farm should probably be in the title, though.
Yeah.
We
We made National Booking Farms mad.
We ticked off a National Booking Farm,
Yeah.
or a National Booking Farm came after us.
Yep.
Okay. If it feels bad, really, you can stop in the middle of it.
Yep.
So, and hello.
Yep.
Podcast.
Cool. What do we want to sell at the front end? Coaching.
Yeah. That's it. Just do that. That's all we have right now. I don't want to pitch things I'm not going to do anymore.
Yeah. weddingfilm.school/coaching. Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Film School Show. My name is Jared, here again with Jason McCutcheon. How we doing, Jay?
Doing really good.
Really good. Weather outside is actually nice. Like really, really nice.
Fantastic. And after we had literally 3 weeks ago, we had 2 feet of snow in a day.
2 feet of snow. The last time we recorded an episode, it was coming out of a crazy, crazy blizzard, and now all the snow is gone in that amount of time. And we're talking about golf season. We're talking about baseball. We're talking about getting ready to film a wedding season. So that's all very, very exciting. Guys, before we hop into the episode, I want to remind you that Jay and I both do coaching. So if you are looking to develop any aspect of your wedding film business, whether it's, the films themselves or more of the business side, make sure you're going to weddingfilm.school/coaching. That's a way that you can set up a coaching meeting with Jason or myself. We're happy to do that and give back to the community that way. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about this week, Jason.
Yes. So we had a podcast episode last week, or last episode. I don't know if it was last week, but whenever you're listening to this, that we were talking about basically national booking agencies are ruining the industry.
A lot of feedback.
Yeah.
A lot of positive feedback.
What
a
was
lot
the
of
feedback
views.
you got?
Well, we usually post an episode once every other week, roughly. I try to do it weekly, but it feels like we record weekly, but sometimes I don't make them out every single week. But we recorded, and I knew people were going to have opinions because people were giving us feedback on it without us really promoting it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things like if you ask a question in a group, like something, anything, the average person will or most of the time, people will just ignore you. They won't respond at all.
Yeah.
But if you bring up this topic, people are itching to talk about it.
Yeah, because I think everyone has somewhat of an experience with maybe one of these national kind of booking farms in the past, good or bad, or maybe somewhere in between. And so we did this episode. It's probably our best performing episode in a long time, I would say, at least in the last year. So people were very opinionated about it. I started getting a lot of text messages from people saying, oh, yeah, this happened to me or X, Y, or Z. So we wanted to do another episode kind of circling back on the topic because we thought it would be very interesting.
I love the YouTube thumbnail you used on this one that you
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
AI generated.
That was a great AI. I was impressed with that was a ChatGPT.
We're trying
AI.
a new color too, guys. Check out our YouTube channel, The Wedding Film School Show,
Yep.
and we try to upload within a day of the audio episode. So, and then we're going to start doing Spotify as well.
So we did an episode, and this is kind of in correlation with I would say a campaign by myself to get the word out, because Yours Truly Media, if you haven't listened to that episode, I would probably say go back and listen to that episode. Come back to where we are right
Quick
now.
summary.
Quick summary. We've been talking about these national booking agencies because Yours Truly Media went out of business. And we heard rumblings about it, months ago, when contractors weren't getting paid, which is kind of common for these businesses. I feel like every single season,
Extremely
I'm like,
common.
hey, this person hasn't paid. Anyone else have that?
And there's actually a middle ground we didn't discuss about that where they get paid wicked late.
They get paid wicked late,
So-
2 years late in some cases.
So a lot of this stuff is not so it's like, oh, they're still in business.
Yeah.
You know,
but they just, or paid a portion or whatever it might be. And so there's that. And then where I knew something was really wrong, and there's probably 3 degrees of like, warning signs here, like DEFCON 1, DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3, when you know these companies are going out of business. First indicator is like contractors aren't getting paid. That's like DEFCON 3, because that usually happens with these companies. DEFCON 2 is when you start hearing, hey, maybe this person isn't like responding to our, that might even be DEFCON 1, like a wedding planner reaching out in a group being like, has anyone heard from this company? Like,
I would say once the sales portion of a company becomes non-functional,
yeah,
it's over.
Yeah.
Like people, no offense, contractors, these companies don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're definitely fine to just push you off. Like,
they definitely care more.
I want to buy more ads, so I'll pay this guy later. What is he going to do?
You know what? This is DEFCON 2, is when the clients who had their weddings shot are starting to have issues.
Yes.
That's DEFCON 2.
That's a major problem.
Where they're like, hey, this person is maybe late making my film. We can't get a hold of anyone about the, deliverables, whatever it might be. Has anyone heard anything? DEFCON 1 is like when you're like, we have a wedding booked with this person, and they're not responding to anything we say.
Yes.
Like, and then they're seeing, oh, these people that had their wedding shot aren't getting their films. The contractors that shot the weddings aren't getting paid.
So that's
DEFCON 1.
That's the story of national booking agencies. Yep. And if you want to know why, go listen. But essentially, the long and the short of it is, essentially they're running Ponzi schemes that have more money leaving than coming in, and eventually, when anything goes wrong, they can't sustain the business anymore. And
they are paying their contractors that shot weddings last year with deposits that they're getting from marketing that they're paying for weddings that are happening next year.
Yes.
So they get so backed up, they don't have any money in the bank account. They can't pay their contractors.
They don't have any cost control because everyone's a contractor. So like every person can just say, no, I'm triple expensive now.
Yeah.
And people will,
or inventory control.
They'll
accept a million weddings on a single date and just go on to Facebook groups or whatever.
And if they're at Crickets, they're screwed.
Yeah.
So they don't have options.
They're desperate. Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, so imagine they have to, that happens, they have to refund all those deposits, which actually was supposed to pay.
Refund the deposits based on
contract.
Without having any money in the bank.
Yes.
So it's just, it's a terrible situation to put yourself into, which
as a company,
all of these companies end up doing. And, it's just a dangerous game. So kind of like warning about this whole world. That's what that episode was about. So what happened was, we're having this campaign, getting the word out. Yours Truly Media went under. Here's how to avoid it as a contractor. Here's how to avoid it as a client. Just, you should know if you're getting into bed with a person that there are companies like this out there, because even wedding planners in the industry don't know that these people are out there and the dangers of hiring a company like this.
No, and I would say this, we've talked about this a lot. Like for me and you, our business is volume in that we do a lot of weddings. It's nothing like these other businesses.
Right,
guys.
right. So even as self-preservation, I need to go out and say, I'm different from these people. Here's why.
That's my point.
And there's a million reasons why I can tell someone, just basic inventory control. I can max out. I'm not taking more weddings if I don't have shooters for them. I know exactly who's going to shoot a wedding when someone has a consultation with me. I can say, okay, Richie is lined up or Caleb is lined up.
And also we go, next year we'd like to increase our volume by 20%.
Right.
Can we train these 2 shooters to be ready? And then at the end of the year, if me and you look and we go, this is not a person, I'm just going to make up a name. Fred is not ready.
Called up Fred.
Fred is, we don't have a person named Fred, guys. Is there anyone named Fred in the world anymore? I actually name my kids Fred.
The guy who works on chainsaws.
Yeah. Fred's not ready to do it.
Yep.
And we can't take any more bookings. Mm-hmm. We don't have a person.
Yep.
And then we might say, oh, this guy, he used to work with us. Well, call him up, see if he'd be willing to take 8.
Yeah.
Agree that he'll take 8, not 1, 8. All that stuff. It's and if we can't get it done, we don't do it.
Yeah.
So like our business is pretty much capped by the capacity and the inventory
Yeah.
that we have. So we run a totally different business.
Yep.
But I remember when we first like got into the wedding filmmaking world, education, like it kind of pissed me off when I would tell people about my business, and I thought they were going to be like, "Oh wow, you're really good at business. This is so cool." And, "Oh, your films are pretty good too." And they immediately were like, "Wedding Farm, you suck." And like, and I didn't even know, cuz me and Jared didn't ever work for these companies.
Mhm.
We didn't know like that they were really a real thing until like we started seeing the controversy.
Yep.
And so you know, if you want to say that there's some selfish motive, yes. It's for you too, though. But I also
Well,
think
I remember going to wedding shows when we first started, and we would go, and there'd be the booth of this like big company. And looking back, I'm like, oh, they did exist, but even though we were doing somewhat of scale, I always saw ourselves as a studio, like because I came from studio world, editor, shooters, director, audio tech, gear person. Like
yes.
we all combine. Maybe we all pitch in here or there. But like that is a real studio environment. We have staff, we have interns.
Yeah, and we have contractors too.
We have contractors too, but we have the core. It's not outsourcing every single aspect of the business.
No, there's not like nothing to us.
Yeah.
We are a real thing.
Yeah, we're not just like an admin. Our staff aren't just admin.
No, we are filmmakers.
Yes.
We talk about making films.
Yep.
We sit in edit bays and talk about videos.
But anyways,
Primarily. Anyway, that's what happened. So
well, I put it out there that these companies exist. I wrote a Substack about it. We did the podcast about it. I posted in some local Facebook groups about it, saying, "Hey guys, I know a lot of these people post on
you
here."
posted the episode.
No, I posted. Yours truly media went out. Here's my argument against these kind of companies, and should we be allowing them in these groups? Which to me, I've done in the past. When Petite Four went out, when Tolman Media went out, I made similar posts because I just have to. It's a wave. Like, hey, here's another one, guys. I know. Sorry to be the crazy guy who's always talking crap about these companies, but here's another one that just went out. And then all these people are like, yeah, I was affected, because we have to convey that this is always happening. And look, if you're somebody who needs the money, if you're somebody who, knows that these companies exist and you're accepting the risk, I'm always like, do your thing, man. Like, I don't think you should. And like, I think we should be talking about these companies negatively, but you got to eat. Like, you got to eat at the end of the day.
You're
I
an
get
adult.
it.
It's none of our business.
You're an adult. It's none of my business. But you should at least know the dangers. And my problem is a lot of the people that are, just starting out, maybe they've been doing photo or video for a couple of years. They don't know they don't know the scorched earth and the trail of bones that these companies have laid in their wake, right? That's important.
No, and they run good cover for themselves.
They run good cover for themselves. Oh, we're different because of X, Y, and Z. They tell a story, right? We're storytellers. We tell a story. But in truth, they don't have someone like me being like, no, you're actually exactly the same like every other company.
This is the truth.
Because I know your model.
Yeah, here's the truth about anything in life, guys. The person willing to have conflict is always the rare person.
Yep.
Most people just want to go along to get along.
Yep.
And I think that, like, I get that. I do kind of hate it.
Yep.
I don't like that quality or trait, and it's something that I personally have decided not to do with my life.
What, have conflict?
No, I love conflict. I mean, I don't actually love conflict at all, actually.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. I'm willing to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
If I'm having a conflict with you, which is I'm doing it because I've processed the idea that, like, it's not okay to just say nothing when you know this is going to help someone or hurt someone.
Right.
And I would say in this case, like, we feel a moral obligation to have this conversation because, like, some of our friends, many of you listeners have been affected by this. And the couples, like, a lot of these couples that are even like, we've had conversations with couples.
Well, and we're affected by it too. It's not just like, so we're going to talk about a person. Like, these companies will be like, oh, you're just threatened by the competition. And I'm like, I'm not threatened by the competition. I'm threatened by the precedent that they're setting, the things that we're talking about. You're overpaying your contractors. You're driving up because you're spending most of the money on marketing. You're driving up marketing costs. Like, you're doing all these things that I'm like, these are bad
Ads
things.
would be cheaper, guys, if these people weren't in the market. They like this is what you need
Exactly.
to understand is like they sell based on demand.
Yep.
And so like if you're having a hard time getting second shooters and they're all charging you $1,000, you know why? Because some guy, like we have hired people who we've paid $1,000 to who are terrible shooters.
Yeah.
Now
I would say why, if you go on the Knot or Wedding Wire, your top 6 listings in every market are these companies now.
which drives up the price of those listings.
Drives up the price of the listings.
It drives up
Which-
the part of Google ads because they sell for demand. Like
Yep.
all of this stuff.
So they're undercutting you on the front end,
Mhm.
charging less than you. But yet, because of the volume, they're able to spend $10,000 on a listing.
And because they don't care.
Yeah.
Like they don't go like I go to Whippa and everyone's gonna know that I'm a fraud. Like and so to make that point, because I think we're not gonna give any names in this episode.
Yeah.
If you already know who these people are, like we would first of all say, leave them alone. Don't go talk to them.
Yep.
We're not trying to get a campaign against the people we're going to talk about. What we're trying to do is use it as an example of what happens. So Jared makes a post in this group. All these people start
There's some
responding.
pushback, but also a ton of support
Yes.
for it.
And then one particular person starts, which I think we mentioned in the last episode, really coming at you. This
Yeah.
is low class. Why
Yep.
are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You kind of have an argument with them. It's kind of the end of it. I think
Pretty
like,
brief. I'm
yeah,
like,
that-
oh yeah, well you're a national booking agency.
yeah,
so
that was like,
of course you're gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
That's it. And then he tried to engage, and I was like, dude, pearls of swine, bro.
we made
Like-
made a podcast episode based on that, not based on him.
Yeah.
Based on yours truly.
Yep.
I don't even think I think we might have mentioned that someone didn't like it, but it wasn't even like, let's just say
Yeah.
it wasn't even a glimmer in our eye, really. We didn't really think about this person
Mm-hmm.
when we were making that episode. So what's funny about this person is I think they think we were talking about them,
Right.
which we weren't.
It was about Yours Truly Media, who went out of business, who robbed people of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And here's the
whole
deal.
the whole episode's
To
about
be
them.
very clear about this person, we didn't know even the name of their business because they hid it.
Well,
At that point, we didn't.
yeah, but I did a little bit of research. I was like, okay, yeah,
No.
they run this company. I did.
Afterwards, no, you knew the one company they wanted you to know about.
Yes.
But you didn't know the volume company.
Yes, didn't it? So then, in that same group, somebody posts, "Hey, looking for associates for all of these dates. We're not like these other companies. Blah blah blah. We're different." And then a couple of people are like, "Okay, I'm interested. Yeah, send me information." And I can tell these people are just like Bambi looking down the barrel of a gun. Like, they don't know what they're getting into. They don't know what these companies are doing. And I go, "Hey, I post. Alternatively, here's why these companies might be bad for the industry. Here's a podcast about what we did." So like, look, and I've petitioned the members of the group. I petitioned the admins of this group and said like, "Hey, this is why I think they're dangerous." And they've been like, "Yeah, take it case by case. I don't have any problem with people raising questions about them, whatever. I'm playing within the rules of the group because they're allowed to stay." I go, "That's fine. It's just whenever they post, don't be surprised if there's going to be some conflict, unless you don't want there to be conflict."
Yeah.
Of like,
Basically,
hey, just
every
be careful.
time they post, I'm going to post.
I'm going to post every single time they post because I don't think these groups should be used as recruitment for these national booking farms. Like, I don't think that's the point of these groups in the first place.
Very bad for the community because the people in it, it should be a safe environment. For one of the funny things about me is like, I'll be like, "That's not good." And people are like, "That's mean. This is not safe for new people."
Right.
That you said that their film isn't good. I'm like, I'm helping them. Okay, though.
But also, that's how I feel.
But
I'm
nobody's sensitive to what actually would hurt a new person, which is stealing their time.
stealing their time and like maybe potentially not paying them.
Well, that's what I mean. That's stealing their time.
Yeah.
Like they could have made their own money. They could have went and mowed lawns.
Right.
Literally done
And
anything.
and my whole argument isn't necessarily with all this. And I made this argument in the Facebook group. I was like, I don't think people should not be having associates work for them. I very much encourage that as a local person who can mentor people. And like, the apprenticeship has totally disappeared from the world, apparently, unless you're like a carpenter or something. But like, if you're a beginner, photographer, filmmaker, whatever, you should be working
The
under
arts
somebody.
require a mentor.
You
They
yeah.
really do.
And a lot of people, the problem is, and everyone, I think most people would back me up here, is like it's the barrier to entry is so easy. It's so low now. You can get a camera and you're a photographer. You went out in a field a couple times and you took
Well,
decent
and the
enough
irony
photos,
is like that.
and now you're
person's-
charging $3,000 for a wedding.
the very first.
Is that good for the industry?
No, in the very first conflict you had, the person was like, "We don't do this," but then their argument was, "People who have no skill need to get experience," and I'm like,
But you're not giving. You're giving
not
them
mentoring
experience
them.
without any mentorship. So
Yes.
you're throwing them in the fire. And this is the main problem I think a lot of people would have with them on the client side is they're hiring inexperienced shooters at a high rate because why would the shooter work for them at a low rate? Like they don't know them. They don't feel any loyalty to them. They're just mercenaries.
"Yes."
So and the people that respond are oftentimes people that are just starting out. So they're giving the client a bad experience. And then, these people that are brand new are the first people to get screwed. It's like, well, you're a newbie. Like, I don't need you to come back.
Well, and
Your work
also
isn't
this-
that good.
The
You're
argument
probably not going to sue me. You're not
the
going to get a
argument
lawyer.
he presented
like-
to you, Jared, is
Yeah.
not the argument he presents to the client.
Right.
He doesn't say to the client, "This is a great thing because I'm giving experience to people with no skill and experience."
Right.
He's not selling.
He's
that.
going, oh, our team are the best. We only.
There's a reason why they call it their
course.
team. It's like you don't even know this person. So anyway,
Right.
You
Our
post
team
this-
of people that I'm going to book you. I literally am going to book someone 2 months before your wedding, a rando on a Facebook
our
group
team
to
of
shoot it.
that's like calling like everyone in the future that I will employ my team.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
this
I
person-
post the podcast.
yes
And
on this lady's post
on this lady's post, which I'm like, they probably won't like that, but other people will very much like that and appreciate that.
yes.
It
And
gets-
you said you were going to do it.
And I said I was going to do it, and and so and really just to like get in front of the admins of like, hey, something's got to break here.
Like I told you, this was going to keep happening.
Yes.
I'm going to keep showing you
Yes.
every time it does.
And
Because
they
I do
don't-
think
they
a
don't
lot
care.
of admins and people in groups, me and you can read between the lines.
Mhm.
So we oftentimes are like, that guy.
Right.
And then like what's interesting is to go back and look at their history.
Yeah.
Some of these people never post. They
Yes.
just randomly post one time, which I have a problem with. But I also have a problem with the people who pretend to be wedding filmmakers and interact with everyone.
Yeah.
And then randomly, when the ask comes,
Yep.
they will randomly pop up, "Hey, friends."
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a second. I know what you were doing.
Yeah.
You're running the
And especially when you're in a group that's very regional.
Yes.
And this person's in California.
yeah, they're running it up.
Exactly.
So
They
it's-
are the recruiter for this company.
yes.
They're not friends. Like
not
when's
even-
the last WIPA or literally any event that you've been at? When's the last time you were in Boston?
Right.
You've never been to Boston.
I mean, can you even shoot?
Yeah.
So I think anyway, just to be clear though, the person who he posted the podcast on was not the same person who was commenting.
Yes.
And so
Different person. I had
so it
no
was a different
idea.
person. He had no idea. So he
idea.
posted on there.
Yep.
And then what happened after you posted that podcast?
Oh, a waterfall of fallout. Well, first of all, first thing that happened is our social media manager reached out and was like, "Who's this person?" I go, "I have no idea."
Some very some of our partners also reached out.
Yeah. But the first thing I found out was like, okay, there's someone who's just blanket trolling all of our businesses, all of our accounts. This person, named me personally, is dangerous or something along those lines. Is like can't be trusted, I think is what he said.
But
is
they-
bad
and-
for
and
the industry. But they also kind of complimented. They're like, their work might be really good, but they can't be trusted.
And they also said something along the lines of kept saying stuff like they have multiple brands, essentially like insinuating that it's a secret, which is like actually a selling point that we give our people.
Literally all my people know
like,
about it.
And then they were also said, I have personal experience with them.
Yes.
Which-
But it was also silly because they didn't they didn't mention my name. They go, this guy can't be trusted and blah, 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 blah. And I actually had some of the planners be like, who are you talking about? There's 5 people collaborating in this post. Like, what are you, some site? And so they were like, who are you talking about?
They didn't know how collabs
And then
work.
they don't know how collabs work or the internet works, apparently. But, and I look at this person, I'm like, this person has like 10 followers.
They
like,
had no posts.
no posts.
Who is
It's
this
private.
person?
Who is this person? I've never met them. I've never seen them.
They made a name that is basically their other name.
So I'm like, This is a burner account.
Yeah, I think you actually said, "Is this person's brother?" And then I looked and I was like, "No, they actually changed the last name, but it's like one letter."
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway,
So I'm like, what is going on? All these things. And I look at our not profile, and apparently someone left us a bad review there, 1-star review. Because I was like, dude, we usually get pretty good reviews from people. Like, that's weird that we would have a 1-star. And I was like, oh, it's this person. Okay, hey, this is a competitor, and the not removed it immediately, kind of thing. But on Instagram, it's a little bit more, whatever. All of our partners are like, we're just going to block him. Okay. Yeah. This is what happened. This is what this person is. They're this terrible company. They don't like the post that we posted about our, podcast, whatever. Okay. That makes sense. No worries. Totally understand. Cause I was like, of course we have to like defend ourselves and be like, this person is, a competitor or whatever. And so all of our partners are just like, oh, we're just going to block this person. Right. And so they did, but I'm like, who is this person that is posting? And they made some posts about us that made it pretty clear. I was like, oh, okay, it's this person from this Facebook group that had a problem with us forever, a week and a half ago, whatever. And so he actually threatened to sue us because I was like, I posted, I think, on Instagram, and I was like, when you come after these national booking agencies, this is what they'll do. And all I did was post the posts that they had made, like screenshotted the 10 comments that they had made on our accounts, be like, hey, when you come after these national booking firms, they'll come after you, or something along those lines. Which people are like, what? That's crazy. Like, who is this person? I'm like, I have no idea who this person is.
Yeah, we didn't even know the name of their company.
But then, they started making comments, and I was like, oh, okay, that they're referring to the Facebook group. I know who it is now. And so, and there were some other things that I found out about. My wife is insane, so she's taking deep to be like, oh, yeah, it's this person. And so they actually threatened me through a message like, oh, I'll add this. Since I made that story, they were like, I'll add this to our libel suit against you, or something of those along those lines. I was like, all right, which is like, you can't be liable when you're using a burner account, bro.
Well, no, here,
what are you talking about?
Just to be clear, though, the man posting, we'll just call him Fred.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Fred again.
Yeah.
Fred is posting as, we'll say, John.
Yes.
Based on a response you made to Lisa.
Yes. Yes.
Which, about a company that he didn't have listed on his profile.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't even know who the company was. So for him to say that we were libeling him would mean we would have to mention them.
Yeah.
And we literally, like, even when you were arguing with, we'll say, John, the real name, you were arguing with John. When Lisa posted, you were arguing with Lisa.
Yes.
Now, what we find out later is John and Lisa are married or dating.
What? I
They're
don't
the
even
same
know.
company.
Yeah.
They're the same company.
Yep.
And the reason why they were mad is because you made the post initially.
Yep.
And he's like, crap, I've been farming this group.
Yeah.
I'm mad about that. But he's not farming the group.
Yeah.
He has someone else doing it.
Yes.
And a pretty girl.
Yep.
And this girl is posting in the groups to get shooters.
Yep.
And then when they come, and when you click on their names, they don't have the film company that they're going to hire you for in.
Mm-hmm.
They have a film company.
Well, and this goes
that
back
is
to
their film company that they sell weddings with.
The feedback that I've gotten in these groups too is like, hey, whenever there's these posts, they're non-posted. They're
a lot of them are anonymous too.
So kind of removing that transparency is another reason why you might be like, yours truly media, I've heard bad things about them. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to post, I need a date. Oh, someone who's really desperate. You eventually find out it's yours truly media. And they're just trying to, the whole thing is scammy, right? There's a reason why people have a problem with it.
Even when he went after you, he made a burner account.
Right.
Said things that are unverifiable.
Yep.
And actually didn't even give the real story, which is we never referenced this person one time.
Yeah.
Nor did we know that we were talking to the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even know the name of their volume company until after they started coming at us.
Right.
And so obviously it's ridiculous
that
this person would say this. And I think the ending of the story is the funniest part.
Oh, well, so we found out who this person is. And then when they essentially threatened to sue us, I was like, yeah, look, apparently you have no idea how
Lawsuits
libel or
work?
discrimination works, like lawsuits work, because
You
can't,
actually could. We could sue you.
I could sue you because you actually came after our company and publicly. Like,
You tried to take bread out of our kids' mouth.
yes, exactly.
On
Like all I
purpose.
did was warn shooters about the dangers of working with a company.
And I
like
got to
yours
tell you this:
in a group.
if
in a
I
group.
find out one time, Jared,
Yep.
that I've lost a wedding because of that post,
Yep.
I will sue that guy.
Yeah, sure. And you would actually have the legal precedence
win.
to do it. Yes. So when he threatened to do that, I was like, screenshot, is this your burner account, dude? And I listed the actual company that he was trying to protect at the end of the day. And then he got found out. That's pretty embarrassing that you would be found out. You create this burner account, you go through all this effort, whatever. And, you know, it's pretty embarrassing that you get found out. Like, he thought we wouldn't find who the real person was. And then almost immediately, probably within like an hour or two, he had written a book about me and posted it. This is the most embarrassing part. And this is
This is my favorite.
He posted it on his own company's Instagram account, talking about bad faith actors. He wrote a whole book about me.
Bad educators.
Bad educators out there, because he knows that we have a podcast and he's threatened. So like anyone who goes there now, he's going to be like, oh, I wrote a bad, wait and see. This book is going to be released April 1st about bad educators.
The funny part is like, this guy doesn't know that he called me for a consult with our editing company.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that we're the same. I don't know how he could not know this.
Yeah.
But like, I freaking have DMs from him trying to pitch me an app.
Yep.
So it's like,
well, people started coming out of the woodwork once they saw, oh, that guy bought my course and tried to get a refund because he didn't think it was valuable or whatever. Oh, that guy, I know that guy. That guy did this and this and this. Like, okay, so exactly why like we're going after these companies for being mad sketchy. It just turns out the mad sketchy dude at the end of the day, across the board, right?
Well, because here's the deal. I don't think anyone who could build this infrastructure is stupid enough to not know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think like in order to go through all these machinations, they have to understand a bunch of things. They have to know people won't like it if my company is associated with X, right? So they're careful with the companies they hide and the companies that they show.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike us, who go, my name is Jason McCutcheon. I own Merriman Film, Huxley Film, Stop Go Love, Wedding Film School.
Yep. Here's our reputation in the industry. Here's why we will show you our 3 different companies. I'm very transparent.
Here's the difference.
You know, I have a company that is a contractor-based company, Merriment Films.
Yeah.
And guess why it works is because everyone under Merriment has trained as an intern under Stop Go Love. And I've trained them for 4 to 5 years.
The same editors are doing the work, so
Yep.
we know the quality is going to be there. And then the same lead editor is managing all the editing, post-production
Yes.
of all our brands.
Yes.
So everything gets done.
Yep.
And we're exposed that. We say it from the mountaintop. That's, to me, I go, this is why I'm an expert.
Yes.
Because of all the things I manage. This is why I have a right to tell you what to do with your business, because I do it.
And we have a sales machination of, you want the better brand, you'll have to pay more money. If you want the lesser brand, you have the option to pay lesser money.
And it's
and
like
I've always felt like with
the
sales,
like our $8,000 price point product is what most of you guys listening to this show want to be selling.
Mhm.
And so we're not undercutting you. We're actually probably more expensive than you.
Mhm.
And that helps you. You're welcome. Like, you could actually use price against us,
yes.
or you could charge what we're charging and use it to lift the floor.
Yep.
Like, the thing that we're selling for $3,000, some of you, it might be competing with you. If you're starting out, it might be a similar thing, but you have just as much of a shot to win that bid as anyone does, because we're not going to give away the farm in terms of deliverables, because we can't afford to. So like, whatever you're giving away at $3,000 is probably similar to what we're doing at $3,000. And so if the client wants to work with you or them, they're not going to call us at $3,000 and get like 75 edits.
Yep.
And like 2 million hours of coverage, like and a photo video team. There are companies that are selling photo video, exactly what we sell for $8,000 with video for $3,000.
Yep.
Total,
Mhm.
maybe 3 to 5. That's crazy town. That's just terrible for everyone. So anyway, here, all that
Well,
to
there are
say,
people doing photo and video for $1,500 too. Like some of these companies, dude, I don't know how they do it. Like they must find these people
well,
that
I will
barely
say
know how
this:
to
I would
hold a
rather
camera.
I would rather those people, because if you're buying that, the company's paying someone $400 or something.
Well, you kind of know what you're getting.
You know what
I
you're
feel
getting.
like, and you're like, this isn't important to me at all. Like I could get someone that
I just need
show up,
something.
stay of, and doesn't make our day. Like I'm just drinking anyways, so like who cares? Like we get a couple photos throughout the day, great.
It doesn't really affect the greater industry that much.
Yes.
But I think it's when you get to that mid-range price point
Mhm.
where the couple's like, wait, they're 5 and they're 5, but I get a lot more, so I'm going to go with these people.
Mhm.
Right? And me and Jared are like, I'm not going to give you all that for that price point. It's
Yep.
going to take my editors too long.
Yep.
I'm going to lose money on that.
People will always be like, well, this person's this much. Why are you more? And I'm just like, well,
Because that's
if
how much
you
it
can't-
costs.
if you can't tell the difference, then you should go with the other person. You know, I'm fine with that. I have 4 dates that I'm selling. I have 3 sold already. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why I've sold 3 dates already, and that person hasn't sold any. This is the one opportunity they have. You should go with them. And they'll be like, well, tell me why. Well, we do things this way, this way, this way. We have experience. Like we work with this planner. We work under pressure. And look at our films.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why you're still talking to me. I know, because you like our films better.
But also, I'm happy to bid against them. I don't
Sure,
care.
I
Like,
don't care.
like,
It's competition.
Like, if you lose, you lose. If we lose, we lose. And like, honestly, like whatever. So all this to say, we're very proud. So if you find this book, we 100% endorse it. You should definitely read it.
If you find it on the internet
'Cause
somewhere.
We can't wait to read it. Comes out on April Fool's.
Yep. On April Fool's Day.
Yes. So
It does.
I literally can't wait.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is a person that doesn't know us at all. I can't even imagine what they could write about us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to like their insights into you, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, why do we decide to do this podcast? Not for drama.
To spill the tea, Jay.
Yeah, a little. But
Well,
I think
yeah.
But I think it just seems an important thing to say. Like, we told you guys, and we're right. And, like, fight the good fight. Because, like, the underhandedness of, honestly, like, when I was really actually kind of disappointed. Because after a while, I was like, I think you said, like, this person's name. And I said, I know that person.
Mhm.
And I was like, dang, dude. Like, that's just, like, when you think about, like, the response, because you posted a podcast on this person's wife or girlfriend's
Mhm.
post to get shooters, it enraged them enough to try to destroy your life.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even have the balls to put their name on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is why we make a stand against these people, because
This model, and it like, I wouldn't even say these people because
no,
I
mean these
understand this
people.
person.
I don't mean this person. I
I-
just mean like the
this
people
model
who choose
is
to do
just
this.
bad, dude. Like it's just, can we just run real businesses, guys? Like the whole idea of, oh, I'm gonna run a business and not have to do anything because everyone's gonna be working for me and I'm gonna be a big boss. Cool. Run a better business where you actually have your hand. Like run. I think Jay and I have plenty of issues and we run into with our business all the time. It's very hard to run a business like ours.
Yeah.
Like we're very lucky to be business
A
partners.
lot of mouths to feed.
Divide and conquer.
It's
you
very
know.
hard with employees. You know,
The wedding industry is very tough.
Yeah.
Wedding filmmaking is very tough across the board. But it's like at the end of the day, I hope that we make the value of our small little niche of our industry better at the end of the day. This model sucks. If you run this model, you will go out of business. You're just a year or two away from it. I promise you. I promise you. You know why?
Even if
Because
you
the
try
best
to,
people who grow it always go out of business every single time. Unless you're George Street, I guess. You
But
know,
I
the pros, they're
don't know.
around, but they're like scraping the bottom. Like They have something that they do that I don't even know. They're like,
I think they just like probably don't pay as much,
I think that's what it is.
which is
They're not paying $1,000 to their shooters.
no, they're like $500 and
Yep.
like we'll take literally anyone.
Yep.
And I think a lot of these people, they kind of want good shooters
Mhm.
for some reason because they probably sold themselves as good.
Because if you can say these are our shooters, they're really good, and we're only charging $1,500 for this wedding film or whatever, then people will be like, wow, good quality, good price.
Like I said,
That's
a
a good transaction.
I would
right?
actually think it was fine if the product was this. Hi, we're a national chain. Do you want a video that is this thing?
Yeah.
That is these deliverables. It's cheap.
Mhm.
I think like that goes without saying that everyone involved is inexperienced and it's not that good.
I would be fine with
then,
it
like, the
too,
thing
as
about
long
the-
as it was sustainable. I just don't think even that company
they don't
is
even
very sustainable.
Well, maybe, but I'm just saying they don't even pitch that.
Yeah.
So it's like, because like then you would say, well, okay, maybe they're paying people like $200 to shoot weddings for them,
Mhm.
and if they're paying like $200 and they're charging $1,500, that's sustainable.
Yeah.
They spend like $300 on ads and $200 on shooters, and then they have a $50 edit from some guy in the Ukraine, and like you could sustain that. 50% margins
Sure.
times 2,000.
As long as you're keeping money in the bank to pay your contractors on the back end.
Yeah, for sure. But they're not doing that
Mhm.
because they kind of can't.
They need
like,
the money for marketing.
Well, no, also they can't market. We have inexperienced people that suck,
Mhm.
and we're cheap.
Mhm.
They have to say we're great and we're cheap.
Mhm.
That's what they sell. So the customer is like, oh wow, and they're actually incentivized to look at the average sale in your market and be like, they're not incentivized to be $2,000 cheaper.
Mhm.
They might as well just be $500 cheaper.
Mhm.
So like $4,500, and you're getting the same shooter who's competing with like a $500 shooter, who they're competing with each other for these shooters.
Yeah.
And so that's the market you're competing in when you shoot for these people. And so at the end of the day, you're just taking money out of your own mouth.
Yeah, and that's the argument we made on the last podcast.
Yeah,
Is like
so-
you're not competing with someone charging 10 grand, dude. Like you're competing with these companies,
And yourself.
and they are mopping the floor with you because their marketing budget's bigger. So, you know that was kind of the gist, I guess, of
So
getting attacked.
yeah. So kind of like just to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
You know, again, I don't care about this person. I'm not like we're not upset with this person, guys. We don't care. Like, and again, we don't want you to go after them because just leave them alone.
Well,
Like- But
this is the feedback that I wanted to give because I did get feedback from some people that were saying, hey, honestly, I work for some of these companies. I'm trying to fill up my schedule. And that episode was very challenging. That was the point, is it should be very challenging because I get it. Like you have to eat, like you have to provide for your family in a lot of cases. And even this person who has this business that, how are they supposed to know the model is bad
until
when they started
fail.
it
Yeah.
until they fail?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, you gotta change your model. Like if you want to be around, dude, like I'm telling you, that's a hard model to run sustainably because I've heard podcasts with these owners of these companies. They're pretty smart business people. You know, and you know,
Oh,
they
these
all
people
go under.
love going on a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, are we one of them?
No, we don't go on other people's podcasts.
But-
They somehow always end up someone else's podcast.
My challenge would be if you're in a position where your schedule's not full, you know, it's likely that you should be mentoring under someone to figure out what they're doing and to become a more successful filmmaker. Work for those people, dude. And I would say if you're a very successful filmmaker, you're charging 10, 15, 20 grand. Bring on people to mentor, dude. Like you shouldn't see those people as your competition. You should be people that you are creating your own ecosystem of second shooters and lead shooters that you can rely on that have loyalty to you. I think that's a good thing in the industry. So like if this person is in your market and they're a great person and you like their vibe and they're working for you, you should have a 3-year plan for them. 5-year plan for them. We have Dom, who's down in Virginia. Like, whenever we are like, man, this is a busy day. We have a Huxley film. We have these 2 other Stop Go Love films that are big. I'm going to bring Dom in.
And
I'm
we
going to
would-
pay high market rate for him. I'm going to fly him. He's going to stay. at a
Yeah,
nice
just so,
hotel.
and
Like,
I want to
he's-
be really clear with that.
Yeah.
We are 100% fine with paying people $1,500 to shoot.
Yes.
And some people deserve it. And we're happy to do it. We do that.
Most
We
people
don't. We don't always do it.
Yes.
Because, no offense, not everyone is worth it.
Right.
And because we
There-
believe
that's the problem. There's no scale. There's no like, this is a $500 second shooter. This is a $1,500 second shooter. Outside of just like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to work. Someone who's going to be like, I will work for this much. I look at their work and I'm like, you're not worth that much, dude. Like, I'll pay you this much. You know, oh, they're undercutting me. I promise I'm not. I promise I know exactly what you're worth.
I
and-
promise you the fact that, like,
And I'm going to have to tell you what to do all day. I promise but if I hire someone like Rich Ferry, who's never worked on a Lumix camera, I'm like, here's a camera. He looks at it. He's like, okay. And I don't have to tell
I can
him.
literally say, oh, both my legs are broken. I'm going to stay in the back room.
Yeah.
Can you go shoot everything for me?
Yes,
And it will be great.
it'll be perfect.
It'll be just as good as if I did it.
Yeah.
That, to me, is what a $1,500 shooter is.
Yep.
Not person who goes, I've never used this audio before. I am scared of it.
Mhm.
I didn't want to touch the button because I didn't want to break it. You're like, are you dumb? What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah.
Or they don't know that, like, you don't keep adjusting the zoom when the bride's walking down the aisle.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's a no cut frame, dude.
Yeah. But
Like-
the problem is like, if you hire a
That's
person,
basic.
you mentioned it a little bit. If you hire a person one time, they're going to try to max out that one opportunity. What we should be doing as experienced filmmakers is saying, hey, I have 5 weddings. I'd love for you to come on. This is my rate for those 5 weddings.
Mm.
Come work with me and we can create a little bit of a relationship. And like,
Have you ever seen that I Think You Should Leave skit about Santa being an action star?
no.
He's starring in these like this movie. And at first you're like, it's just like a movie, and then it's like starring Santa Claus as Crashmore, Detective Crashmore, and he's like, it's like a gritty like hard boiled or like
Yeah.
like a freaking like 80s
Die Hard.
cop movie,
Yeah.
not Die Hard, more of like a Seagal movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, anyway, but they do, so they have the fake thing, but later they do a fake interview where they talk about the making of the movie. And he's like, oh, Santa Claus. And he's like, hey, don't talk to me like I'm Santa Claus. You wouldn't talk to any other actor. Like, talk to me like an actor. But anyway, at the end of the episode, he's like, what's something you, and he's like, well, I got paid 20 mil to make this movie, and that's my quote. So I can, if you want to hire me again, if I even make one more movie, I'll make another 20 mil because that's my quote. And it's the same thing. Like, if a person gets paid $1,000 to shoot a wedding film, even if they suck, they go, that's my quote. And if you want me to shoot another thing, I'm worth $1,000. Because it's what I always say. You're worth whatever you get paid.
Mhm.
So I got to be honest. Like, if you can consistently get paid $1,000 a wedding 20 times a year, you're worth
Yeah.
$1,000 a wedding.
Yep.
The problem for us who are actually doing it is we can't afford that. And we know it because we're running a sustainable business. And so ultimately, we're all denied quality second shooters.
Mhm.
The shooter is denied quality mentorship.
Mhm.
And the quote is set too high for the floor of the market. So, like, people who really can't, like, I don't need everyone to be so good that I could leave them alone. Like I mentioned, Rich. We don't need everyone to be rich.
Mhm.
Some people, like, I just need you to, like, please give me 2 good shots from the groom prep.
Yeah.
Why should I pay a person $1,500 when I need 2 shots?
Mhm.
I don't need a great shooter to do that. They just need to
Yeah.
be able to get 2 good shots.
Yeah.
And I think this is the issue is, like, we're not getting the shooters we need. So the supply side is a mess.
Yeah.
The price on the supply side is a mess. And then the shooters are not becoming very good.
Mhm.
So then they can't start their own businesses.
Mhm.
And then the bottom of the market is never filled with good people
Mhm.
who are competing for low cost opportunities, trying to earn their way up the ladder.
Yeah.
And I think the reason we made this episode as a follow-up is because I think it just exemplifies how they go about deceptively acquiring you to shoot for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the types of people. Now, I don't want to say, like, could just be a bad day, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows? We don't know the person.
Yeah.
Like, back to that. We don't know them.
Uh-huh.
And it's not important. Like, I don't have a vendetta against them. I don't care.
Yeah.
That being said, we'll see what's in the book, but maybe I'll change my mind. But I do think at the end of the day that they're not the point. As always, accountability is you're the point.
Mm-hmm.
Listener, you're the point. You must be wise.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand how it works. And if all the stuff we said, if you're like, I don't care about anyone but myself, okay, that's a way to be. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can be that way as long as I get mine. I mean, I think most of us would think that's not a good way to live, but it's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like you're hurting the industry. Like, that's a pretty low motivation for a lot of people. Very few people give a crap about the industry or any other shooters.
No.
What we're also saying is you're hurting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna hurt yourself, and like it's really, you're not as good of a shooter as you could be if you had worked with like us.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not building a brand.
Yeah, if you're a shooter and you have your own company, my recommendation would be find someone locally, aka a competitor potentially, who is very booked, and be like, hey, I need to fill up my schedule. I don't want to work for this company who's a natural booking agency who's competing with both of us. Like, if you have any extra dates, I'll work for you.
Yeah.
If I have extra dates and you're available, work for me. Let's work together. Let's be. You have that kind of like peer-to-peer relationship.
Yeah.
Great.
But you could also have a humble relationship where you said, I really admire your work. And people do this, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, I really admire your work.
That's the best kind of relationship.
And I would
say these relationships happen, in that not luxury, but high-end tier to luxury world. Like, if we had a wedding, we would contact Adam Grumbo. That's what Larev did. They just went to engage. Like, Larev was like, we have this thing. We need a great shooter. Adam Grumbo's a great shooter. Bring him on. The top tier has that thing going on.
Yes.
Where we don't have this thing going on is, beginner tier, where people are like, they're working for the national booking agencies. You should, if you're a beginner, find a local person who is better than you. To not be a peer-to-peer relationship, it should be a mentor relationship. Get mentored and get opportunity to fill your schedule that way.
And come with a good attitude, because like I can tell
Work your butt off.
There are times when like people will quote unquote help us.
Mm-hmm.
And like, sometimes like it's just like they're an actual friend.
Mm-hmm.
They're a person who I'm like, I respect them and I'm very whatever.
Yep.
But then there's some people who will be a contractor who, like, as you work with them, you find out that to them, this is like,
yeah,
like, oh, I have to do this stupid thing because, like, I really want to be doing, my own thing, whatever it is. And, like, if you go in with that attitude, you're not going to learn what you need to learn to do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like, a couple people in mind where I'm thinking, like, they didn't get what they should have gotten out of that experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't learn because they didn't have the humility to understand that, like, you're not working. This is the absurdity of it. You have nothing to teach me. Probably. Maybe. Not about this. And definitely not about me. Not about my business. You might know about your business and you might choose to want to do it differently, right?
But that might change.
Well, yeah, sure, but in this case, I'm the one paying you, so I'm not going to listen to you anyway. Let me hear me out on that, because it's like, it's not that I'm going to be a dick. It's like, it's not what I'm there for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the wedding for my client to do what they hired me to do. I'm not there to say, what should we do, guys? What kind of boss would that be? What kind of leader is that?
Yeah.
And so, like, we're there to execute on what we were asked to do. We're not in a learning mentality. We're in a doing mentality.
Yeah.
And so we're not there to learn.
Right.
Like, you're there to learn.
Yes.
You're there to learn at least to be a good contractor, to learn what I want.
Yep.
And I mean, I will say, like, one of the epidemics in our industry is a lot of shooters don't have a clue how to be a leader and have no idea how to give instructions and are unwilling to be clear.
Sure.
That's bad. Like,
Sure.
I do understand that. Like, it's always like, hey, I'm going to hire you to do this thing. Hey, man, like, let's collaborate on this. Why? No. Tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Like, tell
Yeah.
me how to, like, execute on the job. I get that. So some people might have maybe a different thinking on that, but I'm telling you, the right way to think about it is show me what you do and how to do what you want to make you happy. And if you do that with someone, you'll learn why they're successful.
Yep.
And then you'll learn what it is about them that their clients like. And it might be different than what you do. And that's also fine. You might learn some things you don't want to do.
Mhm.
And like,
And that's important to also understand if you are the mentor, that what you teach somebody, they're going to replicate.
yes.
And you can't be offended at that. Like,
No.
I think there's a lot of people that are mentors, and maybe there's the reason why there's hesitation to work with local people to be, put yourself under is, oh, I'm going to go to him and he's going to see me as competition and he's going to put me in a box and never allow me to like spread my wings and become, a person who can do it. And the mentor is like, yeah, I don't want them taking my work. I would say if you're the mentor, get over yourself. Like, you want to have people who are really good, who you can call on any given chance, but also understand like people might spread their wings. If you can't afford to bring them on full time and start paying them six figures or whatever, like they
have to.
have to. You have to like let that person go, and either you hire them as a staff member, we've done that, or let them go because you
And
can't
also,
afford
like,
them,
you want to
and
talk
bring
ab-
them on per project.
You want to
Like,
talk about
pay
like
them their rate.
one of the things that, I'm not using karma in a specific term in terms of like Hinduism, I mean, but like, like you look at like the universe has a way of working itself out,
Yep.
right? And like people who work with us, typically we retain a relationship with them after they leave.
Uh-huh.
Because first of all, we try not to burn bridges.
Mhm.
So you might need them
Yeah.
in the future. And if you keep things good, you can use them.
Yep.
And if you are a jerk, you can't use them.
Yep.
And sometimes that crap just happens and
Yep.
relationships don't work out. But most of the time, and 90% of the time, we retain a relationship with everyone who's worked with us.
Yep.
And that's good. We like that.
Yep.
Not only because we work with them, but because they typically are nice to our businesses and we're nice to their businesses rather than like mean and trying to wreck each other.
I mean, I think we respect a lot of our shooters. I have a lot of respect for our team.
Yes.
Like as individuals, as creatives, as people who have to make a living. Like I respect that.
we
Like,
know their kids, we know their wives.
I'm not trying to screw you at the end of the day. And but also it's important for people to understand that in order to get respect, you have to give respect. A lot of our people that come on, it's like they respect us. They have to be a sponge. I'm not interested in what they have to say, to your point. That does change over time as they get more skills. Like I can't
You
tell you.
earn my respect, I'm going to give you respect.
I respect.
I respect your humanity. I respect your right to
Of
not be
course.
abused or something.
Yep.
But I'm not like, I don't want to like hear about like how we should set up the cameras.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like you don't know how we should set up the cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
I know how to set
Yeah.
up the cameras.
You know what's interesting is when you work with someone who's very experienced and they're working under you, someone that might even know more than you. Like Rich knows way more about camera op than I do because he's in commercial world. He ran a wedding film company. He goes, "How do you want to do this, boss?
Yep.
How do you want to do it?" And I'll be like, I think I want to do it like this. What do you think of this? I like this idea. Like, totally whatever you want to do at the end of the day. But like, I've seen this. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I'm learning. And I'm going to let him be an expert in this.
An
division
actual
of the league.
professional person
Yes.
will pitch ideas to you.
Pitch
they won't
ideas.
be offended.
Yeah.
And they'll come to you and say, "Let me show you what I'm seeing."
Yes.
That's a Rich Ferry phrase.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I'm seeing. I want to show you this.
Yeah.
Here's a great angle. Look at the light here. Look at this.
Yep.
And there have been, not most of the time, there have been a few times where I've said to him, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
For this reason.
Yep.
I know something's going to happen at this event, so I know this isn't the best shot,
Mhm.
but it's the information that I need to get in the
Yep.
story. I need to show this whole action.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yep.
So like we have those interactions. But
That's a very professional working relationship.
that's good.
Yep.
And like, but if like if your attitude is like, this person is a scumbag and I don't like them and they're just hurting me and I'm not going to be mentored because they're local, but I will go work for this large company because I'm by myself and I am awesome.
Yep. They seem
It's
like less of a
so-
threat.
It's
you know?
so wrong.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to say to you. That is
Yes.
so wrong.
Yep.
And if you're a local person who's like, and this is the other audience, I'd say, if you're listening to this and you're like, I run a great company, we're charging $8,000 to $10,000. Don't want to deal with anyone else.
Mhm.
Just realize that a company in your market who might decide to post on every single one of your accounts to very high-end planners, they're willing to do that.
Mhm.
And so it will affect you. And like, we have had people who have turned down like $8,000 to $10,000 packages, and then we come and find out later that they went with one of these companies, and we had to fix the edits.
Mhm.
That happens.
Yours truly media specifically.
Yes, it happens. And so, like, for you to think that they're never competing with you is probably wrong, but probably mostly right. But for you to think that they aren't affecting you
Mhm.
is a really wrong.
Yeah.
They are affecting you. They're affecting all of us.
Yeah.
And like, this is my last question I'm going to pose to you.
Mhm.
Obviously, we've been saying studios are good. People shouldn't be hiring people. My guess is no one's going to do it. My guess is like they're not going to listen.
Yeah.
We're going to be having the same conversation in a year.
Mhm.
That being said, and not everyone is capable.
Mhm.
And I don't think that, by the way. I don't think everyone should be running a studio model.
Yep.
Just more of you. But what is your best guess about like this model in the future? Do you think this is going to eventually like be destroyed by content creators? Do you think shooters will wise up, or do you think we're just going to keep having the same conversation for all time?
It's a good question. I think that these companies can spring up at any given time. Their start to, acceleration is very fast. Like even these companies that, came after us started in the last 3-4 years
Well, I mean, that's what is the first
post-COVID.
thing I said to you
post-COVID.
when
They're-
I said
they
go
haven't
look
been
at the
around for very
reviews? I
long.
said, what's this last review? It's like 90 reviews in 2 years.
So 4 years is that's a good amount of runway, I guess. But they're not as established as people charging $10,000. Whatever.
Most people who have been shooting for 4 years don't have 90 reviews.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
So they can get spun up pretty quickly. And turns out, I mean, if you read some of the reviews, I mean, the reason why they get the reviews is because they're offering a lot of giveaway, like free raw footage, blah, 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 to get these reviews in, by the way. That's how they do it. That's how all these companies
Which
are
also
like,
takes money out of your pocket.
takes money out of your pocket too, for sure. But I would say they're going to transition to content creators. You're going to see a lot of content creators that are scaling, like, because it's easy. If you're worried about like the floor being floored out, like, oh, anyone can pick up a camera. Guess what? It's easier to pick up than a camera. It's a phone. So the bottom is just going to be like, if you're a content creator and you're charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, look out, because these people are going to start scaling content at such a mass level. So what are they going to have to do? These people that are charging more, they're going to have to like really differentiate what the difference between these companies and them is, which, is it worth $5,000 to have a more luxurious, prettier person doing it? Like, what are the differences there? You're going to have to, because you're using the same exact phone, dude, at the end of the day. Like, the deliverables are the same. Like, the edits
You
are probably
think
going to be
that
similar. Like,
these companies are going to exist, though?
I do. Because I don't think that we have the wherewithal or the fortitude to say no to these companies. I don't think we do.
Well, I wonder if the consumer will, though.
Maybe. Who
I-
knows
I
what Gen
just-
Z wants? I think Gen Z does see through a lot of these companies, but I think the price forces their hand. In the middle class, forces their hand. They're going to have to say, I don't want that, but we need video, but I can't spend $5,000-$10,000. So I'm just going to hire whatever content creator, for $1,500, $1,000, whatever. And like, then we got our video. Who cares? Like, Even though I don't want to, like, that's what people, what their expectations and what they can afford. That's the classic conversation that goes beyond wedding films and for photography or planners or wedding industry. That's just, supply demand stuff.
Well, here's what I'll say for us. Like, if you're part of this community, if you listen to this show, I think you have an opportunity to beat these people if you understand what their value is and what your value is. And I don't mean like some inherent, like, you're worth 1,000. It's not that. I don't mean like dollar value. I mean, like, why are you worth more than them? I think my biggest hope would be that when you sell, that you would understand what